Let's bring in Amna Khan. She is a psychotherapist and director of the Center for Healing Minds. She joins us from Mississauga, Ontario. Ms. Khan, you weren't at that vigil, and yet it feels like we all were at that vigil tonight with those tens of thousands of, or I should say thousands of people who came together to grieve such a tragedy.
Yeah, and thank you for having
You
me
bet.
share my thoughts on this tragic incident.
What is your reaction?
Nita, it is very unfortunate that we are seeing an increase in crimes like these. It shows more than ever that racism and Islamophobia is very much alive in Canada, and the very real struggle some Muslims go through every single day. People gathering in a peaceful manner not just show support against hate crimes like these, but also help spread awareness.
How significant, Ms. Khan, is the fact that you see on the screen right now these thousands of people of all walks of life, not just members of the Muslim community, coming together to show support?
Anita, just like when you share happiness, it multiplies. Sharing sorrow helps you heal. And victims show great improvement when they see that justice is being served. And any sane person would feel the pain when they see or hear about the loss of human life. And we all must stand together and call for meaningful actions to stop Islamophobia and hate crimes associated with it.
Ms. Khan, can you please offer us some tips, some advice on how, for folks who are watching right now, who are deeply impacted by this tragedy, how they can process that, how they can move forward?
So my initial concern when I hear about these Islamophobic incidents is the safety of Muslim citizens of Canada. No one should have to face hate and violence because of their faith and ethnic background, but this is a very real fear that Muslims across Canada go through every day. So the people who carry these hate crimes or act of terrors like this incident or what we saw in the Quebec mosque attack should not be identified with their faith or religion, as these kind of barbaric acts are not preached by any religion and should not be carried out against the followers of any religion. So why is it that when we search suicide online, the first thing that comes up is the suicide prevention line? Why is there a message on a cigarette box to call in a number and get help to quit smoking? This is because we respect human life and we want to prevent harm. So there should be a crisis line to help people with hate crime, racism, or Islamophobia thoughts. So we are yet to see meaningful national efforts in this direction, creating awareness in schools, colleges, community centers, and have resources to deal with these situations. It's only when we see these efforts happening, it will help Muslims cope with another incident of Islamophobia. And I also feel that it's worth looking into the constant killings that we are exposed to every day on video games. Is it responsible for making one feel that lives are not important?
That's interesting. You're talking about a desensitization with video games that are quite pervasive, right? A lot of people, particularly the younger set, embracing such video games. That's an interesting angle. From that vigil, it seemed from various leaders across the board, faith-wise or political, they really came out and they condemned what happened. Many of the leaders, Premier Ford of Ontario, the Prime Minister of Canada, essentially saying, Ed Holder, the Mayor of London, saying this was an act of terror. It is to be strongly condemned. How important is it to get such a message to help move forward and to help create structural change that will prevent such an atrocity from occurring again?
So, Anita, anyone who has organized or attended a public vigil like the one that was held today, they will surely testify that the emotional expression of human solidarity in the face of a crisis is an effective way to confront a tragedy.
Okay. Amna Khan, thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you for offering your advice. Our condolences to the community in this very troubling time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Anita. Can I add one thing?
Of course.
Yeah, I would like to add that my heart goes out to the family, especially the injured 9-year-old innocent boy who fights for his life as we speak. He will surely need support from his relatives who would also need support for themselves. So dealing with grief can be a complicated process to attain mental well-being, But what helps tremendously is to see that justice is being done. It's not just a wish of all Muslims, but I wouldn't be incorrect in saying that all Canadians expect that hate crimes like these should get speedy trials and punishment is given without any relief. Being a mental health professional, I will say it again that dealing with grief is a long and complicated process, and it requires significant efforts from everyone around. What can really help Muslims deal with grief is to get support from not just their own community, but from Canadians everywhere. And the first step would be to acknowledge the pain and understand that it may trigger an unexpected emotional response. So everyone deals with grief in different ways. So it is important to recognize your patterns and what helps you. Is it being near to others, talking to them, or remaining alone to process your thoughts and give yourself time to heal? Last but not least, do not let grief turn into depression. We also need to understand that COVID-19 has taken a toll on everyone's health and has made the healing process difficult. So it is important that we reach out for help and seek mental health support in these difficult times. It is also a time that we come out as a society to protect the rights of our fellow Canadian citizens. The word Islam itself means peace, and it promotes culture of peace and harmony. All Muslims just have one desire, which is to live a peaceful life with safety in any society.
Well stated all the way around. When you talk about processing mental pain, of course, that's an issue that spreads beyond color, race, gender, and of course, our hearts are with that little boy in hospital right now. Amna Khan, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anita.